Good evening and welcome to Ville News. I'm your host, Owen Russell, alongside Kevin Lynch, here to give you the latest local, state, and national headlines. Coming up in this episode, we have updates on a missing aircraft in South Carolina, escaped juveniles finally captured, and a locally run cornhole fundraiser. Stay tuned, because Ville News starts now. This week, 5 Americans were released from Iranian custody and sent back to the U.S. after a brief stay in Doha, Qatar. The Americans were freed on Monday as part of a more significant agreement that also saw the U.S. unfreeze 6 billion rial. Biden has already been maligned by Republicans, who say he is flimsy and soft on a vowed adversary of the United States. Former President Donald Trump blasted the decision on social media as setting a, quote, terrible precedent, and former Vice President Mike Pence regularly criticized Biden for his administration's policies towards China, Russia, and Iran. Officials from the Biden administration emphasized that Iran may only use the 6 billion rials provided for humanitarian imports, and the U.S. Treasury Department will closely oversee each transaction. With election season steadily approaching, it's uncertain how this incident would affect both parties.
The wreckage of the missing F-35 fighter jet was found in South Carolina's Williamsburg County after an incident where the pilot was ejected from the cockpit and the jet was left on autopilot. On Sunday, September 18th, a U.S. Marines pilot ejected from the cockpit due to a supposed malfunction. The jet was locked in autopilot, and while the pilot landed in the backyard of a Charleston home, the aircraft remained in flight and went missing. Ground control subsequently lost all contact with the aircraft. The following day, Marines at Joint Base Charleston released a statement that, quote, "The mishap is currently under investigation, and we are unable to provide additional details to preserve the integrity of the investigation process," end quote. With the wreckage of the plane found soon after, the military is ordering citizens to keep away from the area during the recovery process. The pilot has been discharged from the hospital with no major injuries and in stable condition.
When we get back, updates on the sudden death of a Pennsylvania high school football player and how 9 escaped juveniles were captured. Ville News will be right back. Max Engel, a 17-year-old high school football player from Jersey Shore Area School District, died 1 week after collapsing during the team's football game earlier this month. Engel was diagnosed with a severe head injury by the doctors after the game ended on Friday, September 8th. The school district took it upon themselves to announce an update that Engel was in critical condition, and then a week later pronounced his death, emphasizing the suddenness and the unforeseen nature of the incident. Max's best friend initiated a GoFundMe page that has raised over $42,000 for the Engel family. There has been a massive outpouring of support within the community and surrounding areas. As of now, investigations are ongoing, and the exact cause remains unknown. Our deepest sympathies and condolences go out to Max's family and everyone affected by this tragic event.
A potentially disastrous situation was avoided last Sunday when a riot at a juvenile detention center in Berks County led to the escape of 9 teenagers from the facility. The teens, ages 15 to 17, managed to escape Abraxas Academy in Morgantown by overpowering 2 of the guards on duty and stealing their keys. An overnight manhunt for the escapees would come to an end hours later with the successful capture of all 9, with police reporting that 4 of the teens, quote, gave up, end quote, while the remaining 5 were captured after a short police pursuit. The 10 involved will each face charges of escape, instigating a riot, and simple assault. The private facility near Reading has had a string of previous disturbances, with the most notable being a riot in which officers from over 15 departments responded to in July.
When we get back, we'll have updates on a local fundraiser for a cancer patient and a fatal house explosion in Lancaster County. Ville News will be right back. A group in East Hempfield Township held their 5th annual cornhole tournament on Saturday to raise money to fight cancer. The group is called Team We Believe, and all the proceeds from this event went towards one of their members, Kim Albert, who was diagnosed with leukemia. The Harrisburg citizen has been in remission for 8 years and is on her way to recovery. Kim said, quote, "We raise money for not only people, leukemia, lymphoma, also for research and all the things that go behind it to help people fight this every day," end quote. The cornhole tournament raised over $12,000 last year, and the group is currently scheduling.
A 68-year-old man died in his home in West Donegal Township after a fire and explosion. Police and other emergency responders arrived at the scene at 11:45 a.m. on Monday, September 18th. Harvey Winters' body was found in the house's debris. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 cats and a dog belonging to the Winters also died in the explosion. Anthony Rigel, a neighbor of Harvey Winters, heard the explosion and had the photos knocked off of his walls. Rigel compared the sound of the explosion to an airplane crash. Winters' wife, Kathy, was at work during the explosion. Harvey Winters was the only one home. This is the 6th home explosion in Lancaster County since 2004.
That's all we have this week for Real News. Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in next week for the latest local, state, and national headlines.